5 rising NBA players dominated a youth tournament with 10 straight wins, and vanished on their bus ride home. 4 years, the league blamed fate, until a hiker stumbled on their abandoned team bus deep in the forest. What investigators uncovered next shattered the entire basketball world. They were the rising stars everyone believed would define the future of basketball. 5 young NBA players, Marcus Hale, Jaden Cross, Devin Price, Lucas Grant, and Tyrell Vaughn, had just stunned the entire West Coast tournament by winning 10 consecutive games, crushing every expectation placed on them. Scouts whispered about early draft picks, sport channels replayed their final match for days, and fans called them the Unstoppable Five. But hours after they stepped into their team bus to head home, they vanished. No calls, no sightings, no wreckage, just silence that cut through the league like a blade. The police blamed a possible highway accident. Others suspected a runaway stunt. Some fans whispered curses or conspiracy theories about jealous rivals. But the league moved on, and the families were left with nothing but questions that only grew heavier with each passing year. 4 long years later, when hope had nearly rotted into grief, the case exploded back open. A hiker deep in Redwood National Forest stumbled upon something impossible: a fully intact NBA team bus, swallowed by moss, dirt, and time. Inside that bus lay the first real clue ever discovered. And when investigators followed the trail, they uncovered a truth far darker than anyone imagined. The 2011 West Coast Youth Pro-Am tournament was supposed to be fun, nothing more than a stage for promising young athletes to sharpen their skills. But for the Riverton Eagles, it became the tournament that would define their entire existence. Led by coach Emerson Wade, the 5 boys practiced for months, barely sleeping, barely slowing down. They knew eyes would be on them, NBA scouts, college recruiters, journalists, but nobody expected the domination that followed. Their first game ended with a 40-point lead. The second was even more brutal. By the 5th match, people in the stands weren't asking if they would win, they were asking by how much. But their biggest shock came in the semifinals when they faced the powerful Redwood Titans, a team known for aggressive defense, brutal blocks, and a coach infamous for taunting rivals. The Eagles won that game too. Barely. But they won. And that victory, according to later investigations, was the exact moment their fate sealed itself. Because the Titans were not just furious. It was as if the highway swallowed an entire NBA development team whole. They were humiliated. While media attention faded, the coach and families refused to let the case die. They collected phone records, social media messages, witness accounts, anything that smelled like a clue. Still nothing. But in 2015, everything changed. Tyrell Vaughn's mother received an anonymous message. They didn't disappear by accident. Start with the calls after the Titans lost. There was no name, no number, no signature. Just that one message. The families took it straight to Coach Wade, and he knew exactly what it meant. The Titans. The team the boys humiliated in the semifinals. The families hired a private investigator who eventually convinced the National Telecommunications Agency to reanalyze archived communication data from the night of the disappearance. The results were explosive. Multiple calls were made between a Titan assistant coach and an unidentified burner phone hours before the final match. Immediately after the Eagles won, the same burner number contacted a towing company worker known for illegal off-record jobs. GPS analysis showed a sudden drop-off of cell signals from all 5 missing players at a location far outside the tournament route, deep near the Redwood National Forest. The Titans head coach made an unregistered call from a motel only 6 kilometers away from that location. There was no more doubt. The disappearance had been planned, orchestrated, executed, covered up, not by strangers. Not by nature, but by the very team they defeated. But the most chilling breakthrough came from a complete outsider. A hiker named Daniel Mason. He was trekking through remote sections of the forest, areas rarely visited due to steep slopes and thick undergrowth, when he saw something strange. A curved shape beneath layers of moss. A metal frame buried under vines. A faded stripe of blue and white. As he cleared the mud, he realized he wasn't looking at a rock or a log. He was looking at a bus window. And then the letters appeared. Riverton Eagles. Team Transport. The missing bus. Perfectly preserved by the forest. Hidden for 4 years. Waiting. When he opened the door, the smell of decay hit him instantly. Inside were scattered clothes, backpacks, a broken phone, torn seats, and deep scratches on the metal walls, scratches that looked like fingernail marks. The boys had been here. They had fought. They had been terrified. Emergency teams rushed in. The woods finally spoke. Investigators reconstructed the events with chilling precision. After winning their semi-final match, the Titans' head coach ordered retaliation, not to kill, but to teach a lesson. He contacted a local associate who knew hidden access roads through the forest. The plan: intercept the Eagles' bus. Threaten them. Humiliate them. Record them panicking. Post it online as a lesson to future rivals. But things spiraled beyond control. The bus was forced off the road and guided onto an unmarked dirt path. The players were taken deeper into the forest. Something went wrong. The boys escaped into the woods. The bus was abandoned. And the people involved panicked, covering tracks instead of saving lives. Investigators believe the players, lost, injured, terrified, tried to survive but became separated. Only remnants of their attempts remained. Armed with telecommunications logs, GPS coordinates, anonymous testimony, and forensic evidence from the bus, the police moved with shocking speed. The Titans' head coach was arrested at 5:37 a.m. The assistant coach was arrested 2 hours later. 3 associates were arrested before noon. In interrogation, the assistant coach cracked first. He confessed to the entire plot. They never intended to kill the boys. They just wanted to scare them. But the forest had no mercy. The community, the league, and the country reeled from the revelation. 5 rising stars lost because of jealousy. Because of petty rivalry. Because adults decided humiliation mattered more than human life. 6 weeks after the arrests, search teams discovered remains and personal items belonging to all 5 players, each in different areas of the forest. The truth was heartbreaking. The boys tried to escape. They tried to survive. They fought together until they couldn't anymore. Their families finally had answers. Not peace, but truth. And for the first time in 4 years, the silence broke. The disappearance of Marcus, Jaden, Devon, Lucas, and Tyrell was never a mystery born of the supernatural. It wasn't a curse or accident or bizarre twist of fate. It was the direct result of jealousy, obsession, and the ugly side of competition that no trophy could ever justify. For 4 years, families lived in the shadow of uncertainty, clinging to photographs, replaying last messages, waking to nightmares of what could have happened. The league tried to move on. The world tried to forget. But the forest didn't forget. The bus didn't forget. And the truth waited until the right person stumbled upon it. Their story became more than a cautionary tale. It became a turning point. The NBA instituted severe disciplinary and monitoring reforms. Youth tournaments changed policies. Coaches across the country were forced to reckon with the dangerous culture of obsession they sometimes fostered. The Titans staff faced justice. Their conspirators faced justice. And finally, after years of not knowing, the families received the answers they deserved. The Riverton Eagles may be gone, but their legacy, both their triumph and their tragedy, will never fade. Their 10 consecutive wins made them legends. Their disappearance made them unforgettable.